The number one defense, in my opinion, when somebody comes in for a tackle, especially because those a lot of times are unexpected, is simply to sprawl on the person. Now, a sprawl position means this. Person comes in for a tackle, I've put my chest to their chest, I've completely dropped my weight, I've shot my hips and my legs out, and in a sense, this person's pretty much gonna have to collapse. Now, because of the motion and how fast it happens, this person's gonna have to give up the takedown or tackle attempt to post and protect themselves. Otherwise, they're gonna be flat out face on the concrete, which would work great for me, but not so much for them. So a lot of times they're gonna end up in this turtle position. So again, it's my job that once I've sprawled, I make sure that I keep this head or the chest pressure to their back, and at the same time I wanna try and keep this head pressure. The longer that I stay in front and I essentially relax on the pressure a little bit, whether I put my knee down, take the pressure off the shoulder, take the pressure off the head, you're gonna see that this person's starting to come forward. They're obviously gonna try and look for one of the legs, start driving into you, and their hopes is that they can essentially sit you down and start working, taking your side, taking your back, and it puts you in a really shitty position very quickly. So you have to make sure that when you do sprawl on this person, that I have to control this position and the pressure as much as possible. Now we have a few options from this position on how we wanna work to take the person's back. If you're trying to get out as quickly as possible, simply drop your knees. Same time, I'm pushing into their shoulders, pushing into the head, and it does two things. One, it keeps their body in place, but it also allows me to work myself back, and I'm simply just gonna work, obviously, right back up to a staying position. If we're in this position, ideally I don't wanna stay in the front, I wanna start working to the back. And again, we have a few options from here. So one, as always, keep your knees off, post on the head. This is gonna be key. If I don't have this head pressure, it's allowing him to work and start driving his body forward. So even if I have the head down, if he starts trying to drive forward, it's gonna essentially just raise his hips up, but keeps his shoulders to the mat. If I don't have that head pressure and he starts leaning forward and looking forward, now you see how his whole body comes up. So this head pressure is very key. Pick a side. Ideally, you wanna try and trap one of these arms as best you can, so that as I'm walking around with my legs, he doesn't try and trap my leg at the same time, and again, try and get a single leg. So I can use my opposite hand to trap the arm here. I can sometimes also just cup here and pass my leg through. Same thing if we're going the other way. I can trap with my other hand and step through. Again, it doesn't matter, it's your preference. But again, the idea is I posted, I trap the arm whichever way I can, and I work myself around. My preference is simply just to latch on with the seatbelt. Know that when you get into this position, this person is now really gonna start trying to explode to get out of this, hoping to try and get you off their back. So it's not one that I can get here and stay real nice and high, because if he starts bumping me, I'm gonna end up forward again. So once you get to the back, you got your seatbelt grip in, sink those hips in a little bit, stay latched onto the back. I want to start working however which way I can to try and get one of these legs and hips exposed so I can start taking his back. Whether that means I drive my knee through, whether that means I start trying to pick one of his legs out. But I want to get into these positions. If I can pull the person down, start working to get my bottom leg hook in, get my top hooks in. Again, start working all sorts of different grips. Again, we're just simply trying to hold on to this person, control them, do what we can so that this person calms down. Another option from this situation is when we are working to the back, instead of staying to the same side right away, I can actually just continue with that momentum and work all the way around to the other side and just use that momentum to pull him right back into my lap. And again, we work our hooks right in. Just understand that a lot of times that when you get to that person's side, a lot of times they're just gonna roll out to that side and hope to open up. So again, my ability to just get to the side and already start coming across, if he starts rolling to that side already, this just allows me to catch this a lot quicker. Even if I can't get the hooks, I have the ability to come right back up on the side control. I can come the end belly. Again, we can start working gift wrap grips, go back to our 2-on-1 grip, and we just maintain control from here. Now let's assume that when you get into this position, he did manage to latch onto one of the legs. He's gonna start sucking that leg in and start driving my hips forward. So in this situation, when they've done this, I wanna instantly turn my hips to look like I'm about to start running the other way. Post down on the head as hard as I can. Keep this arm nice and locked out. Post down. If I need to, I can use the other hand to kind of peel the hands off my knees so that I can get my knee up and over his hands and staple that to the mat. Just sink my hips down into his chest, or into the back of his head on his shoulders, and start sinking my weight all the way back here. One, it makes it hard for him to start driving into me. Now at the same time as I'm doing this, I'm also gonna start looking and reaching to the far side of his hip. And as I'm doing this, I'm simply just sliding this leg out. And as I start sliding out, I start turning all at the same time. And we end up right back to where we were before. Again, start working your seatbelt, and we go right back to the same situation. So he gets you locked in, I post, slide, and we just start working around. And a lot of times it turns into scrambles, but the idea is that we're getting to the back, locking on, getting control from there. A little bit more of an advanced one, a little bit fun too, but give it a shot. I start hipping in, I work, I get my knee free. From here, the second that I get this leg out, and I post with my feet. I'm gonna use both my feet and actually launch myself backwards simply like a bunny hop and just come straight to the person's back. The key for this one is that I'm using my thighs and my knees and I'm pinching right here to kind of catch myself in place. And again, I lock on. He's gonna start bumping and moving, trying to get you off, so you have to make sure that you adjust your weight appropriately, keep your weight down, lock on nice and tight so that this person doesn't throw you. So if none of those work, you got into the sprawl position, somehow they've managed to lock onto the one leg, I can't extend that leg back, and trust me, a lot of times it's always a good idea that if this person does manage to get one leg trapped, pressure down and just really extend your hip back. A lot of times that pressure alone will break the grips, but who knows, this person might be extra strong. I'm doing this, it's still not working. Now they notice that the pressure's starting to release because I'm getting frustrated, I'm trying to find a way that works, and their weight's slowly gonna start kind of shifting forward a little bit. If this is the situation and this person continues to start driving into you as they do, I need to make sure that I maintain this head pressure. So as he continues to drive into me and start working up on the body, I still maintain a somewhat safe position and essentially a tactical position, because if I just completely let go of the head and he starts just climbing up the body, I'm gonna be in a real bad position very quickly. Now I'm gonna be defending myself from the back. So as long as he's got that leg, my head pressure is here. And as he continues driving into me, I'm gonna keep this pressure. So even if he manages to climb up a little bit, I'm still using this pressure as I'm pulling this leg out. I can use my other foot and also kind of just kick back, and I'm just working that leg free. From here, again, I can either shoot in real quick and take the back and try and control it from there, or use that opportunity to get up and escape. The big thing to keep in mind is not necessarily how to do the sprawl. The sprawl is a very simple movement to do. Again, you're just dropping your weight onto the person's back. The big point there is, how do we react off that sprawl? If you sit there for too long, this person's gonna take your leg, and again, you're gonna get put into a real bad position very quickly. So once you sprawl, you have to get into action right away. Turn and take the back, escape and create that distance. Either which way, it's up to you. Give them a shot, let us know what you think in the comments, and we'll see you next time.